Good morning. As we go to the chitas of the day, today is Monday. We are holding in the portion of Vayetze, the second reading of the portion of Vayetze, chapter 29, verse number 1. Vayitza Yaakov raglo vayelachaytze b'nei kedav, and Yaakov lifted up his feet after the whole dream of the ladder. He got up his feet, he got up on his feet, and he went to the people of the east. Rasha, as soon as he was given the good tidings that he was assured protection, his heart lifted his feet, and it became a fleeting foot. As explained in Bleishis Rabbah, he went easy, he went swiftly. And then he looked, and behold, there was a well in the field. Some say that he chanced again, like it came quickly to him. What usually takes him a long time to go, he made it very quickly. Suddenly he saw he was in the city, and at the edge of the city, and there was a well in the field. Over there were sitting three flocks of sheep were lying beside it. From that well, Yeshuka Adorim, they would water their flock. Give water to their flock, but there was a gigantic stone upon this well. So now said the shepherds would water the flock. The verse is written in a very short version. Verse 3: when all the flock would gather there, regardless Evan, and as more people would come there, more shepherds would come there, they would have the strength to take off the rock. The Ishkos are saying, so they'll to give water to their sheep. The Shivas Evan and then they can put the stone back on the well, the Mekayim to its place. So now she says they were accustomed to gather because the rock was very huge. The Galu, as the Targum says, they would roll it. The Yeshivu, as the Targum says, they will return it. So Jacob said to my brothers, from where are you from? He didn't know where he was. He got there so fast. We are come from Charan. So he realized that he's in Charan. He's the place where he's supposed to be. Do you know Lavan, the son of Nachar? I need to go to his house. He said, I do know. They said, well, sure, we know him. He said, is everything good with him? He says, everything is fine. Suddenly, Rachel, his daughter, is coming with the tzayin, with the sheep. So he said to them, I don't understand. What are you standing around here? Today, the day is yet long. It did not take time to give food. You're taking the livestock. Give water to the sheep and go to the pasture then. So now since he saw them lying around, he thought they wished to gather the livestock to return home, so they no longer graze. He thought they were trying to cheat their owners. So he said to them, the day is yet long. If you have been hired for the day, you have not completed a day's work. You're sitting around here and having a coffee break. This is a very strong, long coffee break. You don't. The guy's not paying you to lie around. If the animals are yours, it is nevertheless not the time to take in the livestock. So they said, we're not lazy. We simply cannot take off the stone. Until we all come together. Everybody has to come together. Regardless of Evan, then we can take off the stone. The stone is humongous. And we can give water to the sheep. Rashi said we can't to give them water because the stone is huge. This translates they would roll because of the future tense. Verse number 9, they were still having this conversation. And Rachel is coming with Rachel's coming with her father's sheep. Ashalavia, Kiro, she was a shepherd. When it came to pass, when Yaakov saw Rachel, daughter of Lavan, the brother of his mother. That's that same love when he saw the sheep of love. Achi Imai, the brother of his mother. Vayigash Yaakov, and Yaakov walked over himself. Vayigal Evem al pi ha'eber, he took off the stone himself, off of the well. Vayishak Estzein Lavan Achim, and he gave water to the sheep of Lavan, his mother's father. Rashi says he took the stone off as one who removes a stopper from a bottle, to let us know that he possessed great strength. Yaakov Avinu was extremely strong. And don't forget, Yaakov Avinu at this time was around 77 years old. Yishak Yaakov Rachel, and Yaakov kissed Rachel. Vayisas Koiloi, and he raised his voice. Vayef, and he cried. So Yaakov Avinu was a great prophet, and he cried. Rashi says he saw with the Holy Spirit that she, Rachel, would not enter the grave with him. So he cried. He realized this was his bashet, this was his destined wife, but she would not, for some reason, she would not go the entire life, and she died young, and she wouldn't be buried with him. The explanation, since he came empty-handed, that's why he cried. He said, Eliezer, my grandfather's servant, had nose rings and bracelets and sweet fruits. He came along with a whole possession. And I'm coming nothing in my hand. Why did he come empty-handed? Yitzchak sent his son out to his brother-in-law empty-handed. They're going to get a shidduch. He knew he had to send him with a lot of money. What happened was he had nothing because Eliphaz, the son of Esav, when Esav heard that Yitzchak sent Yaakov, so he told his son, listen, I want you to go catch him, milled away, and kill him. So Eliphaz ran after Yaakov to kill him. He overtook him. When he caught him, the problem was, but since he had grown on Isaac's lap, he had held back his hand. He said to him, Jacob, he didn't want to kill his uncle. He was brought up by his grandfather Yitzchak. He was not a murderer. Even though his father was a murderer. So he said, what did I do? What should I do? Tell me what to do. My father commanded me to kill you. What should I do with my father's orders? So Jacob said, listen, take everything I have. Make me a total poor man. I don't have a penny on me. And in Jewish law, it's like you're almost dead. You don't have a penny. You're like a dead person. So you killed me. And that's what he did. He took everything from him. So that's why it says later on, Jacob says, I came here with my stick. And now I'm leaving with this whole wealth and family. And he came with nothing. He came with a stick. So here he came he saw this future was his bride, and he had nothing to give her. And Yaakov told Rachel that he was his uncle. They were cousins, I mean. Ben Rivka, and he's a son of Rivka. So she ran to tell her father, Lavan. So Rasha's Kalavi, her father's brother, related to her father. We are kinsmen. The Medrash, if Lavan comes and deceives me, I too am his brother in reception. He said, listen, I know Lavan, your father, he's a Ganav, and he's a man of deception, likes to trick everybody. I'm just as good as him. She ran to her father. What happened to her mother? Because her mother died. And he had nobody to tell but her father. When Lavan heard that Yaakov, the son of his sister, is here, he ran towards him. He hugged him. He kissed him. And he brought him to the house. And he told Lavan all of these happenings, whatever happened to him in the past years. So that's just what Lavan. Lavan suddenly was a lover of, when did Lavan? Lavan was known to be a dishonest, cheating individual. Why suddenly did he? He said, wow, if my brother-in-law sent his son sent him a lot of money. Because he said the same thing. He said, I know that Eliezer, I remember when Eliezer came to marry off my brother-in-law to my sister, to my sister, he came with wealth. 10 gemalim, carrying all wealth and everything. So he came running out to see if there's money. So he hugged him. He said, "Oy vey, look at the guy. He's walking with a stick." He saw he had nothing. So he said, "Well, maybe he has money on him." So he grabbed him around, touched him around. He felt him, no money. So he gave him a kiss. He said, maybe he has money in his mouth. So perhaps he has some pearls in his mouth. Nothing in his mouth. So he said, listen, Lavan, I see you looking for something that I don't have. So he told him all that happened. He said, I would have come with a lot of money, but everything was taken from me. I gave it all to Eliphaz, and I don't have a penny. So now Lavan says, what are you worth? He said, okay, what should I do? You're my bone and my flesh. I'm going to throw you out of the house. I'm going to stay with us a month. So that's just in the view of this, I have no reason to take you into my house. Why am I taking you a freeloader? Because you have nothing. But of course, a kingship, I'll put up you with a month. I'll give you a month. Stay here a month and then get out of here. And so he did. But this too was not gratis. Yaakov pastor, he said, even though he was staying for a month, he wanted Yaakov to work. Of course, you're my kinsman, Vavatani. He got to work right away. Right away, he came there. Next day, he was working. Well, you invited a person for a month, let him a vacation for a month. No, started working right away. So right away, he felt bad. But that's what he said right away. Even though we are friends and we're family, you're going to work for free. You came for a month and you're working for free. Verse 16, Lavan shtei bonus. And Lavan had 2 daughters. Shem Agdela Leah. The older daughter was Leah. Shem Aktana Rachel, and the younger daughter was Rachel. Leah, and the eyes of Leah were rakis, were tender. Rachel, you fast Torah and fast matter. And Rachel was a beautiful feature and beautiful complexion. So that says her eyes were tender. From why was her eyes tender? Because everybody knew, it says, everybody was saying that Rivka had 2 sons, and Leah and Lavan had 2 daughters. So the older son Esau will marry the older daughter Leah, and the younger son Yaakov will marry the younger daughter Rachel. So that was the talk of the town. Everybody was talking about it, and she cried. Leah cried, and she cried and cried, and for her lot, so to say, that she was going to fall into the house of Esau. She was going to marry Esau. That's why God responded to her tears. To her features, Mara is that shine of the kind. But Rachel was a beautiful, truly a beautiful woman. And that completes the Chumash of today. We now go to Tanya of the day. We're still in the 4th essay of the Kuntas Achrein. And the Alter Rebbe continues. And the Alter Rebbe explained in the last couple of days in this essay, number 4, about the concept of a mitzvah done in this world. That the mitzvah done in this world, mitzvahs maisius, whether it's through an action or through even speech, the Alter Rebbe says, dibur, like learning Torah with your mouth and talking and davening with your mouth, is greater than thought, even though thought also has a place and a very important place, but action actually brings down to this world, connects to this world a light, of infusion that comes from even higher than with the wisdom of the world of Atzilus. It goes even to Tainug, to the delight, to Keser of that world. So Alter Rebbe says, therefore the law is to perform a mitzvah that can be delegated to another. That's what law is. In general, Torah, Talmud Torah connect Kolim. The learning of Torah is greater than everything. And therefore, if you can do a mitzvah according to law, if somebody else can do the mitzvah for you, then let the other person do the mitzvah for you. But if somebody cannot do the mitzvah for you, and you're the only one who right now can do this mitzvah, then you're pushed away to forego Torah study. I feel in my cover, even in the study of Kabbalah, sublime Kabbalistic, mysterious, the concept of the chariot in heaven. And you should be gone in beyond question to forego the concept of prayer for in a state of which is a state of intellectual and intellectual generated all love. That all these prayer and Torah study, they're all great, but they're not physical. They're not, because even though Torah study and prayer is with your mouth, but it's not ultimately. We consider it an action, but it's not a physical action ultimately, in comparison to actually a physical mitzvah. And therefore, if nobody can do this mitzvah, you should stop everything and go and do the mitzvah. As explained above, because through the mitzvah, we waken up and infuse a light that comes down straight to this world, straight to the world, a total interconnection from the most highest levels till the most lowest levels in a non-restricted way comes into this world through one simple action. So we shouldn't take for granted the one simple action. And even more than that, it's truly great that the mitzvah, the physical mitzvah, and their study, the study of a mitzvah, understand the law of the mitzvah. It's much stands greater than the concept of intellect, meaning intellectual generated awe and love. Because that's what meditation does. Meditation and godliness. We're talking about positive meditation, meditating spirituality. What is the purpose of meditation and spirituality? Is to awaken up a love of God and a fear of God, an awe of God. So that's the purpose of the intellectual motivation, the intellectual capacity, is I'm trying to awaken up an emotion. But a mitzvah is not a mitzvah is more than emotion. Mitzvah is a physical action. The mitzvah requires action, are superior in their performance and in the study of their laws. That's why the Kol HaShoin Allah, right after that once spoke that whoever learns halacha, he's muftach sheba'elam haba. He's for sure will be in the world to come. Because to know halacha, to know the law, so that how to do the law, so you don't just do something, a physical action, it's not complete because you don't know the law. Therefore, it's important to not only do the mitzvah, but to learn the law of the mitzvah, to know exactly how to do this law. Very important. Not only because the fulfillment of the ultimate purpose of creation through the extraction of sparks, but also because they bond the soul with God. Because the physical mitzvah and the law brings about a connection between the person, between the physical and God, in a bond that's impossible and it's unbreakable. And it's true because it's a God's mitzvah. That it's more important than my personal love and awe of God. Even though my personal love and awe of God is unbelievable, but the bond between the world and God, the bond between my soul and God, is self-understood more important. Even though it's written, cleave to God. What means cleave to God? Through the attributes of God, thus like it continues, thus like God is kind, you should be kind, thus like God is the concept of fear, you should have fear, etc. So it's more an emotional relationship. So what should I do? I have two things: cleave to God through a mitzvah, connect to God through a mitzvah, to cleave to God through emotion. So what should I do? So he says, you have to realize both of them are important. But if you have one or the other, you need to cleave to God through the action. Because ultimately, because when you cleave to God through your emotion, and by your emotion of awe and love, you're cleaving to the attribute of love above, that's not the essence of God. That's his attribute. It's his emotion. So just like God has an emotion of chesed, so to say, you should have chesed. So when I do chesed, I connect to chesed of the world of Asiya, to the world of Yitzhira, even to the chesed of the world of Atzilus, the world of emanation. Unbelievable connection to God. But it's to his attributes, not to the essence of God. When I do a physical mitzvah, I'm connecting straight to the essence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to his tainuk. That has no, it's higher than midas, because the tainug has no place. It's infinite in comparison to midas attributes. As it's written, Avraham Avinu said, I'm but dust and ashes. So this is the explanation what the Alter Rebbe wanted to say with this. It was stated that Avraham, in regard to the glimmer of his soul that illuminated his body, in comparing it to its source, a radiant of supernal kindness. It's explained in the length in number 15, in the name of the Maggid Midrash. What does that mean? Avraham experienced such an intense degree of love, deriving from the attribute of chesed towards God, that he was a chariot. He has such love to the Eibishter, Avraham Oyavi. The Torah gives him the title, Avraham who loved me. Imagine if you got a title that you were a lover of the Kadosh Baruch Hu. And therefore, Avraham Avinu, his love of God, turned him into a vehicle of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because he loved him so much. Fatal attraction. He loved him so much that he came like dust bottle to the Eibishter. He had such a love attraction and such a love connection that he became totally the vehicle of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. A vehicle of humbly awaiting to steered by the hands of the Derive. Nevertheless, he declared that his measure of love of God is but dust and ashes. What do you mean? How you dust and ashes? You're a love of the Eibishter. You're like God. So rather to the spirit attribute, because he said, you know what? I am chesed, but chesed and atzilus. What am I? What is my chesed? What is my chesed to the chesed of the world of atzilus? Garnished. And that's what he said. Anechi afor ve'efer. I'm nothing. I am chesed, but I realize I'm chesed of what a human being can be chesed. In the attributes of Lamaila, chesed in the spiritual sense is much greater than my chesed. So I'm nothing. To appreciate the analogy, a tree originally composed of 4 elements, fire, water, air, water, and earth, is burning, losing its first 3 elements in smoke. It's reduced to the 4th element, mere ashes. Yet through these ashes, the tree itself and the tree itself are the same element. The ashes can hardly be compared to the original tree that was beautiful to behold and good to eat. Ashes, even though the ashes is part of the tree. So too, the attribute of kindness of love of Avraham Avinu, possessed while his soul was in his body, cannot be compared to the attribute of kindness, which is one with the supernal sweetness. He says, I'm nothing, I'm like ashes. Even though the ashes is part of the tree. But what is the ashes in comparison to the tree? In height, in beauty, in essence, nothing. It's thus seen that one does not cleave to the essence of the spirit attributes, only to the external state, the state of mere existence. We want not to cleave to God's midas. We want to cleave to God's essence. We don't want a relationship with God's attributes. We want a relationship with God. And that's through mitzvahs. That's through the physical mitzvah. This is all the more true with regard to the infinite Ein Sof, infinity, far, for no thought can apprehend him in his radiance and the fusion of the life force issuing from him. You only can grasp in its existence. As much as you're going to contemplate in God, as much as I will understand God, contemplate in God, meditate on God, I will never know his essence. I will only know of its existence. This applies even not only to a human being, this applies even to angels. Even angels that are above, we cannot know. That's what they say. Kaddish, 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 holy, holy, holy Lord of hosts. As we pray, we say, where is God? The angel says, where is God? Even the angels cannot comprehend the essence of God. The above phrase is uttered by the Srafim, the angels of the world of Bria. They perceive that even as God descends to the related to the creature's being, so he's called Lord of Hosts. He's Kaddish, holy, a term which implies that he's separate from them. Kaddish, Kaddish, Kaddish. Lavad Elam Anatzolim only emanates effects can conceive their cause by Sigan Echad Bili Yosef. Spiritual beings in the world of Atzilus are each an effect, Elul, brought about by cause Elul, the level higher than himself. These beings, so in Atzilus, they can have maybe, because over there they feel their cause and effect, and that's why there's unity in the world of Atzilus, the world of emanation. These beings vested of each other, in turn, at each level, are able to comprehend the cause that vested within them, but not in the world of Bria, for sure not. Because according to the order counted in Eitz Chaim, in the concerning the investments of the Partsufim, the Partsufim is the visages, the faces, which is the midos, are called Partsufim. Eitz Chaim explains how the visages of the supernal spheres of Atzilus vest themselves in each other. There's unity there. Each effect is able to comprehend its cause. The visages that garb within it. But not in the case of the created beings, only in the midas, in the attributes of the world of Atzilus, there can be unity, but not in the shamas Atzilus, not in the souls of Atzilus. So though the souls of Atzilus are divinity, still, since they become sundered from the vessels of the 10 spheres, their souls, they are termed created beings in comparison to the attributes of Atzilus, and are unable to apprehend the essence of godliness in Atzilus itself. They understand the offshoot of godliness, the Chetzonis, even the souls of Atzilus. Now you can understand that Moshe Rabbeinu, Gemara says, the Medrash says that Moshe Rabbeinu, who's in Atzilus, is banging on the doors to get out of there to come down to the earth. Because as much as he receives in the world of Atzilus, you can imagine, cannot do a mitzvah. And the mitzvah is not a face-to-face, as it says. Thus, regarding Moshe, you'll see my hinder part, external manifestation, the mere existence of divinity, but not my essence, mehut, my essence. It's impossible to connect to my essence through all this intellect, through being in Gan Eden, through all the spiritual reality. You cannot connect to God's essence. So thus, through the vision of a soul alone, as a soul gazes upon God without the benefit of a mitzvah, even Moses could apprehend no more than externality, not the essence. But when you and I do a mitzvah, that's when we connect to God's essence. That's the power of a mitzvah. That completes the Tanya of the day. Today is the fourth day of the month, my friends. It's the fourth day of the month, which in the Tillim, if you open up your Tillims and you'll say from chapter 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So from 23 to 28, and you would do the chitas of the day. I wish you all a good day, a happy day, a healthy day. May God bless you all. We'll see you in Mitzvah tomorrow at 8 a.m. We'll continue the chitas of the day.
Baruch